here, yet another outdoor and gear review channel. Today I want to show you the Sofirn IF22A. The IF22A is the version with the TIR-Lens. There is a version with an ordinary reflector. Now the reflector version is a little bit longer, a little bit heavier. Other than that, it has the same output and is also a thrower. Now as with the IF22A, I really like the classic design. It reminds me of the flashlights that I had during my childhood with the pronounced head and the body, the proportions. It very much reminds me of an old school flashlight. I know there is also a silver version, but it's currently not available in Europe as far as I understand. Now let's go a little bit to the specs. First of all, Sofirn produces quality flashlights, no different with the IF22A. It has the typical hallmarks of a high quality design. Everything fits and the finish is perfect. Especially like the USB-C port under the rubber flap, that is really well made. Sometimes some manufacturers have problems there. It's also recessed, as you can see here, so you won't open it up by accident typically. So it is water protected, IPX8. I have tested that. Those lights really hold up very well to the elements. And of course we could talk about the O-rings and everything. These things are perfect. Sofirn has nailed that since many years. This is no different on the IF22A. What is special here is really this big and beautiful TIR-Lens. We have an Android user interface. We have very smooth ramping. So you can of course start in low mode. It's not a problem. With a long press you always start in low mode. Then you ramp up. And it takes about 4 seconds. You ramp up all the way to turbo. Of course a double click also brings you into turbo. And so if you go to turbo, you turn off the light. One click brings you back to the setting that you had, the previous setting. If you turn off the light, you turn it on. You come into the previous setting. Now if you ramp up regularly to turbo, and then you turn it off, it comes on again in turbo. So it's a very smart full mode memory user interface. You also have your strobe mode, of course, triple click and everything, but that is not in the way. It's pretty much a perfect user interface. The one thing that I don't like so much is when you turn the light on, typically, okay, let's turn it off and turn it on. It always ramps down, it doesn't ramp up, and I don't see a way to change that. But it's not too bad, because if you turn it on and you need a lot of light quickly, double click and you're in turbo. So the user interface is very good. An Android user interface, as far as user interface with one electronic sight button goes, it's a very good one. What I really like about this design, the 22A and the 22, the head protects the electronic sight switch. Accidental activation of the sight switch is very difficult. It almost never ever happens. And in case it does happen, you didn't lock it out electronically or mechanically. You can mechanically lock it out, just unscrew it once or twice, or not even like a quarter. And now it has active temperature control. That means there's a temperature sensor, and that should protect the light from overheating. And well, it can't be guaranteed that there is a little bit of burn mark on some material or so. The TIR-Lens is protected by a mineral glass, so scratch resistant. I have seen very expensive lights, Olight, I'm talking about U, that didn't have that feature, and then you have a scratched up TIR-Lens, which just doesn't look good, but this one is beautifully and protected. So again, where did we stop? Yeah, like the recessed button, as far as electronic sight switches go, I really appreciate this light. Now, the run times and everything, that is to be found in the manual. I'll not talk too much about it. Yeah, what kind of LED is that? It's a luminous SFT40 LED, so a modern LED, of course. It works with a 21700 lithium ion battery. Yes, we had that. Of course, yeah. It has a USB-C port that can also discharge when you have the right cable. So you can charge your phone with this flashlight. I mean, the battery has 5,000 milliamps capacity. That's like a small power bank, right? The weight here is 120 grams. Yeah, it handles really well. It's really pleasant to touch this light. It's very well balanced. It's just the design makes for a pleasant experience working with this light. So we have moon mode with 1 lumens. Long press runs more than 400 hours. And that's really a nice mode. And then you have a low mode. Of course, with stepless ramping, you can also switch to the mode setting. It runs for 40 hours, medium 5.5 hours, high that is 1000 lumens is supposed to be 2 hours and 25 minutes. And then turbo. Turbo is the turbo experience on this light is that the active temperature control will start regulating and will regulate pretty radically. So you will see when it enters the regulating cycle, the brightness will go up and down, up and down. So yeah, that is something that some people might not like, but for me, active temperature control is more for protection. You cannot have this light run for a long time on 2000 lumens. It's just not possible. You can do that for a minute or two, depending on the outside temperature, then it gets already very, very hot. And then you have the safety mechanisms that will regulate it down. This one, of course, has all the safety bells and whistles. It has low voltage warning, low voltage protection, the temperature control, and that is just, I think, does it have a reverse polarity protection? Probably. Sofirn lights usually have that. So this is a very safe, very practical light, but don't expect it to run for a long time on 2000 lumens. I think a safe bet is 700 to 1000 lumens, which still gives you an awesome beam in the night. Now let's go to the beam shots and compare and see how this performs in reality. I will compare it to a beautiful, beautiful thrower that is the Unported TC500, and that has a huge and very deep reflector. I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful light. So for just in case your design team looks at this light right now, this is also how you can design a flashlight color-wise and everything. I mean, the build quality on the Sofirn and the Unported is pretty similar. Actually, the Sofirn has a higher build quality than the Unported, but it's just the design and looks. Anyways, this one has a huge reflector. The LED gives off about 1300 lumens. And so we will compare these two lights because I don't have the IF22A or the IF22 with the reflector. So we'll compare these two. This is one of my favorite throwers, or my favorite thrower. Huge reflector, so classic design. And then we compare it against a way smaller and lighter light with a TIR-Lens. I think that's an interesting comparison as well. So let's go outside, or let's first do some indoor beam shots and then go outside. Start with the Sofirn on low mode. Let's ramp it up. So this is about 2000 lumens now. We have a stage light-like effect. And we have hardly any spill, but of course, because the walls are white, you have a lot of reflections off the wall. So the whole room is pretty well lit up, of course. Let's ramp it down a bit. Now let's compare that with the 1300 lumens from the Unported. So here's the Unported. Yeah, it lights up the room just as nice. It has a very useful spill and still a tight focused hotspot. So here we compare it again to the Sofirn. It has a larger hotspot, but a lower intensity. And on top of it, the Unported is also warmer light. So the Unported with 1300 lumens does more here than the Sofirn with about 2000 lumens. But of course there's a big size difference, and the TIR optics is awesome, but a big reflector is just that, a big reflector. Have a look at those lights during long distance, night conditions. First we have the Sofirn. Oh, make sure it's in turbo mode. Man, that's impressive. What a lovely beam. What a beautiful field of light. Let's try to get the church tower. Yeah, the church tower is clearly illuminated. Wonderful. Love the performance. So, and let's check out the ammo torch. Make sure it's on maximum. So this is the ammo torch. A warmer light color, comes out beautifully. Oh, the colors come out beautifully. Yeah, a little bit more focused, more powerful beam. Church tower in the distance. Vehicle, it's my vehicle. Toyota. So now both together. So the ammo torch and now the Sofirn on the tree, now both on the tree. Ammo torch on the tree, Sofirn on the tree, both of them together. Now in my car, the ammo torch on my car, the Sofirn on my car. Now over there on that house. And the church tower. Dual attack on the church tower. Just the Sofirn, not just the ammo torch. Yeah. It's pretty hard to decide. This little Sofirn light is absolutely impressive. Let's get it down to a more reasonable setting. So now we're in turbo. Let's go all the way down. The beam is on the tree. Let's ramp up. So this is turbo. Let's ramp down. So this is about half the strength now. Let's say about 1000 lumens over there in the house, and you still illuminate the church tower. So out of a 5000 milliamps 21700 cell, that promises good run times. Still step up to turbo. It's a lovely light. I really like it. The stage light is very useful. So definitely an alternative to the ammo torch. Much more compact. You see it there on the street. Yeah, we can definitely say that the Sofirn does a better job as in getting all the light that the LED produces into the far distance. It just doesn't waste a whole lot on the spill. On the other hand, of course, the large reflector of the ammo torch is just focusing the light better. Has higher lux, and the spill might be useful in certain situations. So I hope you like those lights. I hope you like the Sofirn, because I like it a lot. What an excellent, lovely TIR-Lens light. This was Wear and Tear, over and out.